Alrighty fam, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be talking about something pretty cool, I think. I don't know how much application and stuff it's actually going to have, but I found this really cool mechanic that I wanted to share with you guys how applicable it is to the game. I'm not sure, but I really want to show you guys. I thought it was really cool. And at the time of recording this, I don't think anyone else has found it or has been talking about it at the least. Maybe I'm just late. I'm sure you guys will tell me down below. I'm sure I've missed it. Maybe by the time this comes out, it's old news. But I was doing some farming with my new favorite team for the bird, which I'll show in a second. And I found something really interesting. So, as we all know, this girl came out recently. And I don't know about you guys, but I was actually very pleasantly surprised by her as a unit. We'll explain why in a second, and she just works so well with the one ultimate Escanor, right? So that's, I think, one of the reasons why I love her so much, because she makes the demonic beast farming so good, because she just bypasses so many damage caps, which makes it a lot easier to run death phase, run death tactic on the bird phases, on deer, all that kind of stuff. So I really, really like her. So if you guys don't know, I'm sure you guys do, but by now, basically, you increase the hero's crit chance by 40% for every human ally on the field, and if basically if you're a human and you crit, you do additional damage equal to 300% of your Roxy's initial attack, right? So I was super, super lucky, and I managed to get her actually 4/6. It doesn't affect her passive, it just affects her unity. So what this means is I also get a boost of attack-related stats of human heroes by 6% for her. Right. This also works as a grace, but when she's on the field, it works for her. So she gets an attack boost of 6%, plus she gets the death damage, and then Escanor gets the death damage on top of his death damage. All right. Now, the reason why this is very interesting, and we'll jump backwards and forwards in a few different clips here in a second. But what this means is that Escanor's finger, where is he? There he is. Does death damage itself, right? So additional damage equals a 30% of final damage. So when you have Roxy on the field as well as Escanor, you actually get the initial death damage plus Roxy's death damage as well. So you end up bypassing so many damage caps, as I was saying, and it's really, really cool. So the team I've actually been using for Bird has actually been this team. Just with the extra one human on the field, these two pretty much always crit, so you pretty much always bypass the damage cap. I'm probably going to swap the Tamio link off of Roxy. I'll probably give her, I don't know, Mael link, and then give Escanor probably Tamio link, to be honest, because he seems to be picked on a lot. So I'll probably swap these around. But this is the team I've been running. Now, I got to a point at the end of the bird where I got the worst passive you can get, which is Overcome Crisis. And I got to a point where it actually showed me, it actually did something that I found was really interesting that I wanted to flag with you guys, just to make sure you guys are aware of it. So I'll probably cut to another clip in a second, just to show you guys what I mean. Okay guys, welcome back. So I'm on the deer this time because this is just the easiest way to show you guys rather than trying to get to the end floor of the bird and then try and get Overcome Crisis. Hopefully, as you guys know, the deer just pretty much has Overcomes Crisis automatically, right? So basically what happens is once the hero drops below 20%, if you don't kill within that 20%, the deer will full heal, get a massive stat buff, right? So one of the strategies that I use in my previous deer guide, so if you are looking to figure out how to do the deer or the bird, I've got a whole bunch of guides, but that's not what this video is about. One of my strategies is I get down to low enough where I can then use the Escanor finger to do enough damage where even if we drop down to like here, let's say, the death damage from Escanor's finger will actually do the remainder damage there. Right, so basically what this means is you kind of get an extra free hit before the Overcome Crisis kicks in. Now, when you guys see a normal attack from Escanor with Roxy's passive, all you'll see, which you'll see in my other Roxy videos, is you'll see the damage from Escanor, then you'll see the death damage combined together for like an extra massive chunk of damage, right, to bypass damage caps or whatever it is. However, there's actually a delay between when the death damage from the finger happens and when the Roxy damage kicks in. And this is actually proved, like I can actually show this quite easily in this, for example. So watch what happens when I'm just going to get him down to low enough health. I'm then going to use my Escanor card. Now this works with Roxy as well, if you do enough damage in her first hit. But for example, I'm going to get below 20% on the deer, and then my death damage is going to kick in from Escanor, and that death damage is not going to kill. And then what's happened, I'm going to show you guys, but this is really interesting. So this is what's going to happen. You get him down low enough, right? Where Escanor's going to go in, use a finger, right? Get low enough, death damage is going to kick in, and then there's more health taken away. Okay, so what this means is it means that the death damage from Escanor's finger counts as one shot, but then the Roxy damage from the death actually kicks in afterwards and counts as a second hit. Right, so this is really, really important when you're doing the deer, as you can see, right? Because the extra damage didn't kick in until after he full healed and got the full stat boost, right? So, I mean, now my team's going to die. It's fine. But yeah, so what this means is you need to make sure if you're doing it this way, with whether it's overcome crisis on the bird or whether it's on the deer and you're just trying to do the final floor, that you're going to kill regardless of the additional death damage with Roxy. So Roxy's like, if I had got down to blue here and then I had attacked, I still would have just needed to kill with a single Roxy card without her passive kicking in, because otherwise the deer would have full healed and then the extra damage would have come off at the end, as we see it happens here, right? So that's something to be really careful of when you are doing the bosses, and if you're using this kind of setup of a team, or if you're just using Roxy, because that can kind of stuff you over, right, when you're doing either the deer or the bird. There's only one application where it's actually beneficial that I've been able to find and really test. In terms of things like PvP and stuff, it doesn't really work if you're using like Goddess Liz, because she full heals back the damage from the initial finger, so you wouldn't be able to like get her down, finish her with the death damage on the finger, and then she pops back up a little bit and you finish her off again. But there's one application I have found for it, and I'm going to try and replicate it for you guys in the next clip. All right, time to show you the coolest but most niche thing that's only going to come up once in a blue moon. I only stumbled across this by accident when I kind of miscalculated my bird run. So for all you guys that don't know, this is floor 2, phase 2, right? So what happens is if you don't have a taunt up and this attacks, you'll just insta-die, basically, right? It does 100% of attack on all damage, on all enemies, then restores HP equal to 100% of damage. So basically, you need to use a death attack like Escanor's, or you need to have a taunt, basically. So the way everyone used to always do this, and you can do it a bit differently now with Roxy, but basically, if you want to do a death run, you'd either have a Freya ult where you do a death, or you use an Escanor finger. So you do damage cap, damage cap, damage cap, and then you'd finish with an Escanor finger, because the death damage would finish off the extra little bit of damage that pops up here. If you guys are unfamiliar with this mechanic and what it means and what it does, there's a whole bunch of other videos on it and a couple of things. But basically, you can do 30%, I think it is, or a quarter of, no, maybe it's like 20%, can't remember. There's a certain damage cap that means you can't actually kill in 4 turns, because even if you get him to 0, he pops back up with like a tiny little bit of health. So usually you do 4 cards and then finish him off. However, I'm going to show you a way of how to do 3 cards, and I'm going to show you how a way of fixing it past the damage cap. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to explain this before I do it, because I'd rather just show you, but I need to kind of explain it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop him to above damage cap before the final attack with Escanor. And then what Escanor's attack's going to do is it's going to drop him down to about this much health. Then Escanor's death damage is going to finish it off, and then Roxy's death damage is going to finish off the extra little bit of health that pops up. Right? It's actually really cool. It happens really fast. It all happens in like one frame, basically. But I'll show you what I mean. I'm only going to literally use, you ready? I'm going to use Escanor, Roxy's AoE, and then an Escanor finger, right? So again, I'm going to drop him down to here. The death damage is going to kill him. Then he's going to get the extra little bit of health pop back up, and then Roxy's damage is going to kill him after that. All right, so there's my damage cap doing well. All right. So normally we wouldn't be able to kill here. Normally we wouldn't be able to kill, but what this is going to do here, damage cap, and then the unique didn't even get a chance to proc because Roxy's damage immediately did it. right? So, like, it's actually really helpful for that one specific part. I don't really know of any other use case where this is good or helpful or beneficial, but I stumbled across it on this the other day, and I thought this was actually something really cool that I wanted to share with you guys, but more of a warning of just be careful that Roxy's damage comes in secondary and it's not part of the initial Escanor death damage, as at least I thought. This might be common knowledge, and I might have done this whole video and cut a whole bunch of stuff together and got specific setups happening to show you guys something that you already know, but I thought that was pretty cool and something I wanted to share. So if this is something new to you guys, let me know in the comments below, or if it's something you guys already know and I'm just an idiot, also let me know down below. But I hope you enjoyed it. That was a lot of fun to kind of pull together, and I will catch you guys in the next one as always. Thanks a lot.